Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen my previous video, I asked Instagram and TikTok for their questions for me about myself, what I do, how I do it. This week, we're going to be focusing in on the D&D and character creation questions. So if you have questions that don't get answered today, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section, and I will include them in a future video. This is from Just a Ginger Girl 23. Do you have a character in mind first, then place the stats to suit that? Or do you roll the stats first and make the character around them? A bit of both. When I do a multi-class, I have to think a little bit ahead of time about where I need to put stats. So if I am multi-classing, say, Artificer and Barbarian, I'm gonna have to have stats in a very specific spot in order to qualify for that multi-class. So if I know ahead of time that multi-classing is something I want to do, I pay attention to the stats when I'm first building the character. Usually I'll build the character at like 5th level on the character sheet just to make sure everything meshes properly. And if that looks good, then I'll scale it back down to 1 and drop the stats where I need them. But oftentimes I'll just randomly roll stats and see what I have available. When I rolled up Delilah's stats, I had 3 8s, and I created a very low intelligence, low constitution character, which turned out to work very well for the very specific party I was in. We had a Twilight cleric. She ended up with a negative constitution modifier, and her low HP was also a problem, but also very funny because Twilight clerics get a aura that allows them to give temporary HP to any character within that aura when the character ends their turn there. So there were many times where my character with incredibly low HP that should have been killed several times over would drop to 0, and but because of the Twilight cleric, as soon as I dropped to 0, my turn would end, and then I just roll the temporary HP, and the temporary HP would get me back up. So the only reason she worked at all with those stats was because of the Twilight cleric. That was a very fun and chaotic campaign. But yeah, it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I do something a little bit different every time I create character stats in my character sheets. All right, next question is from door.ian. What moment in D&D can you not believe worked? I was taking a break from playing Morgan in my Tuesday campaign. We were going through a dungeon, and we came across a puzzle where we had to blow out a circle of candles, but every time we blew one out, another one would light, and you had to blow out the candles in a very specific order in order to get them all to be blown out. I just kind of bypassed that, and I set my shield down on the circle of candles, snuffing them all out at once. And the DM said, well, it works. My barbarian felt very smart that day. This is from Coffee Gal 1234. Are your D&D characters all from your campaigns? And also, what is Lucy's favorite food? All of my characters are from my campaigns. The only character that I've done, and she was kind of a one-off character, was Mabel the accountant. I made a cheeky little TikTok about how creators have to expense very strange things with what they do. So I made a little TikTok about that. I've only done one TikTok with Mabel. I need to think of some other things because that was honestly a really fun one to do, even though it didn't get much views. And as far as Lucy's favorite food, excuse me, is this where we go to answer questions from the tiny magic box? Delilah said someone was over here spreading information about me, and given the current state of things, I thought it best to answer for myself. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead and answer if you want to answer. Thank you, dear. Love the shirt, by the way. Very tentacle chic. Anyways, my favorite food is anything that I don't have to pay for, like the bacon on Anthony's breakfast plate. These videos take so long to do because they keep popping in and asking. Well, no, that's a bit rude, dear. If you had scheduled this ahead of time with the proper planning, we could have done all of this far more efficiently. It's not our fault the letters of inquiry I'm assuming you sent out got lost in the mail. A bit of planning on your part next time might go a long way. Don't you think? Next question is from Raven over on TikTok. What inspires you to create new characters? A new campaign? Or a one-shot adventure? Or a charity event? I will come up with like, I'll have like an idea that I'll write down somewhere. I really don't create those unless I'm going into something. I have too many campaigns currently going on to be considering new characters. Next question is from Diary of a Tattooed Mom. Who's your favorite character to play? So I really don't have a favorite. Lucy is the one that I've been playing the longest, that I still currently play. I love her for a lot of reasons. That's a very heavy and emotional campaign. She's very special in how deeply emotional those storylines that we've lived through in that campaign have gotten. Lowry is a lot of fun. She is just very chaotic. Delilah was very chaotic, very much, I want to do the thing, so I'm gonna do the thing, so we're doing the thing type of character. And Morgan is very tactical in her campaign. So I get to do a lot more, I guess, high level thinking, trying to think several steps ahead. She's on track to be the life partner of an Earth Genasi King in that campaign. And she has a lot that she's learned in a very short amount of time about how to be a leader. And it's been a really cool journey to be on. But I like them all for their different aspects that I get to explore in them. That's the wonderful thing about TTRPGs is every single character can explore something new. And I think that is my favorite thing about a character, is that it allows me to explore something new, not the character itself. The next question is from Lord Eldercraft. What's the most unexpected thing you've seen someone do in a D&D campaign? Like a spell combo that did something awesome, or someone accidentally opened a lich tomb? The most unexpected thing that I've seen someone do is one of my very best friends, Jen. We play in a campaign together where I play a druid and she is the party's paladin. And our very first session, we all did the stereotypical, you meet in a bar and get your first a job together. And we had to get into another location, and the door was guarded by like a bouncer type of guard. And he didn't want to let us in. And her character had taken a small plate of mustard from the bar that we had been at previously to eat. I think they were eating their pretzel with the mustard. And we had to calculate what mustard pot damage, because to get past the bar, she threw the mustard at his face to surprise attack him. And I think it was a D6 of mustard pot damage that we settled on for that campaign. I don't know. If any of the other players from that campaign watch this video, you can correct me. I don't remember what mustard pot damage was calculated out to be. But that took us all by surprise, and it's since become a running joke at that table. Mustard pot damage. Okay, this one's from Repus Vaz. Hi, from idea to concept, how long before edit does it take to do a reel? By the way, they are fun. Keep them coming. It depends on how labor intensive they are. Usually I'm on TikTok on a alternate private account anyways, just scrolling through, enjoying my own For You page. And if I see something on my own For You page and I think, oh, that would be a great audio for Lucy or for Lowry or for Poppy, I will send it to my main account, the Hype Goblin, and put it into my drafts and save it. And then usually I have a stockpile of like 10 to 15 when I go into film that way. Those go pretty quickly depending on how long the audio is to learn. If it's a full 3-minute audio, it's probably gonna take me an hour to get the lip syncing down right to do it. If there's transitions involved, those take a little extra time. I think the longest it ever took me to take TikToks and Reels was when I did the transition for my changeling Lucy. I did 4 videos. I filmed them all on the same day. And I filmed both her starting journey, where she is currently, and where she will be one day, which involved showing her true face, which, I mean, changelings there. I painted myself all white. I had the scar that she has on her face and on her lip. And I did a full wig change and costume change, and those 4 videos took a full 8-hour day. And that included filming, editing, adding closed captions. But for the most part, just one TikTok or Reel on average takes me anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes on average. Some of them take longer than that, but for the most part, 10 to 20 minutes. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out while I answer these D&D questions. If you have more questions for me, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button so it gets picked up in the algorithm. If you dislike this video, go ahead and hit the like button anyways, because you know what? That's just the nice thing to do. And if you've made it all the way to the end, congratulations. Feel free to let me know what your favorite item is from the hypegoblin.com merch store down in the comments so that I know you made it all the way to the end. With that, I am going to go ahead and head on out so I can get this video edited for you all. But thank you, everyone. I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be sure to follow me on all of the places linked down below in the merch store and more link. See you next time. My favorite food is anything I don't have to pay for, like the breakfast on Anthony's bacon plate. That was wrong. Bacon on Anthony's breakfast plate. Bacon on Anthony's breakfast plate.